Okay, Lori Nestori here, the wax queen, in case you didn't know that. Here's the thing, I've always been very strict about bringing on a whole lot of waxes because I always feel like if you get a really good one and you master it, then that's all you need. So I have succumbed with soft wax, but for a very good reason. I'm very, very happy to announce I have a new clear soft wax. And you know, I use soft wax for arms, legs, back, and chest. It's a microcrystalline wax, so it's rosin-free, beeswax-free, completely different formulation. Beautiful on the skin, very, very strong at removing the hair, and gentle, all of those things that you have come to expect from the Berodin line of waxes. My new baby, very happy. You know I wouldn't come out with anything unless I felt it was necessary or added to the line. So here's my new wax, and I'm going to do a demonstration on legs for you. Ultimately, this wax is used exactly like the Berodin Ease is. So we're going to put just a few drops of the jasmine oil on the legs first. And you know what makes me efficient is the fact that I prep everything, wax everything, and clean it all up. I don't do each step on each section. If you have too much oil on your hands, they will shine like this. So I blot on the paper, and then I'm going to go ahead and work it into everywhere I'm going to wax. I am also using these fantastic sterilizable, non-disposable plastic spatulas in this era of non-double dipping. What I do is I'm going to dip it and use it once, and then I'm going to put it in this container. And this container has about this much of our wax off, which is pure orange oil. I will use it once, put it in there, get a fresh one, and use it only one time on the client. When I'm done with the client, I will take them all out of there, and with a sterilizing bacteria wipe, clean off any residue wax that may be on, as well as sterilize them at the same time. It takes a few minutes to get the hang of this, but for me to do a set of legs, back, or chest with these guys and not double dipping, use an entire tree when you're waxing somebody's legs. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I have prepped. As with the Berodin Ease, this product will not dry. The interesting part of getting used to it was learning how to actually apply it because it's clear, and I'm so used to a non-clear wax like the Ease that it just took me, like I said, a little while to get used to the fact that it doesn't show up quite in the same way. Same thing as far as strips. Rub it and pull. Keep your hand close to the body. You know, no popping your hand out into the air. But as you can see, you can use one strip for a long time, just like with the Berodin Ease. When you get up to the top, I will fold the strip over, so I have this now that I can use for the top of the leg. For many years, I said I didn't want a clear wax. I didn't like clear waxes. They are, in my opinion, they've always been too hot or too sticky or too something, and I didn't love them. So I have actually worked on this formulation for quite a long time before I thought it was up to the standards of Berodin, because I only want the best bringing the wax out. There. And see, it's beautiful, clear. It looks blue in the pot, but ultimately it is clear on the leg. Here. Now you notice I have her leg hanging off of the bed. I find it easier to actually get this back part, the Achilles, straight than having them put their leg up here. And if you press up against it like I'm doing, then what you end up with is their leg is fully stabilized and they won't feel like they have to try and help you or move their leg. Don't rub, rub, rub. That just wastes time and it doesn't make it any better. What you just need to make sure you do is use your whole hand and be very firm when you're rubbing that strip. So if you have done your job, you will have no little bits left over. While you are learning, you know, you end up with a whole lot of little bits. When you are finishing, before you turn the client over, don't do that. The skin doesn't love it. So if you have little bits, just actually go sideways and remove any residue like that. Now, before I flip my client over, this is totally non-sticky. It's a really interesting product. I'm still going to take some of the jasmine oil and rub it into her legs and then have her flip over so I can do the front. Okay. Time for the front of the legs. Love my big spatulas. One of the challenges is getting used to how much wax to actually, see what I did? I made a puddle and I'm going to basically scrape it from there. Now my model here has been training, so she has this complete biff down the front of her leg, so I am not actually waxing the front of her leg there. I have to be really careful about going over fresh scabs with wax anyway. But see what I'm doing? Completely flattening my hand to rub the strip. And the way her legs are, see, her legs rest out. So that meant that when I had her on her stomach, I got all the way to these angles from the other side. So I don't have to worry about actually coming all the way with the wax. One of the great things about doing just the front and just the back, in other words, without doing the side to side and that kind of thing, is that if you do the whole back at once, then the front is a done deal. It's very easy to get with. It's easy to not miss a strip. That's what I find a lot of times people get into, is that if you're only doing a strip at a time, then you have to start looking for where you left off, as opposed to, you're just doing the entire front or the entire back of the leg. Start on one side, work your way around the bottom so that you can actually put your hand on the client. But you also notice I'm holding on right here. That means the client doesn't have to think about, should I help them? Should I move? They just will let go and be in your hands. It's much easier than when a client helps you. We all know that. The minute you start having a client help you, they glue themselves to the table. All right, we've got the front and back done. Time for the knees. Knees are irritating little knobby corners. I am going to use the tongue depressors for that, for the knee, but remember to get as much as you can and make a puddle and then scrape from there, like so. Make a puddle and scrape. I use the word scrape on purpose. The 90-degree angle and good pressure is what will give you the correct thickness of the wax. So I do the top section, and these are 4 sections. I do the top and I hold the skin tight from here. You can't go over a corner and keep the skin tight or the strip at the correct angle. So I go up 2 and then over. Got it? So it's basically 4 sections. All right, straighten and bend. Thank you. Okay, lots of wax, a nice puddle. This will save you from more spatulas. We have this thing that we don't get that much wax because we're afraid of dripping, and then we use a ton of spatulas, and I just can't stand the waste. That's why I came up with those non-disposable ones. But I do use the tongue depressors for hard wax and the knees. Again, hold the skin tight from the top. Here. And as with the Berodin, I'm going to clean up in exactly the same way, only this time I'm going to casually take a whole lot of oil because I'm going to lay it over where I just waxed, and I'm going to take my 7th strip. That's all you need are 7 strips, 6 to wax and 1 to clean. Ultimately, you want your client to leave not sticky, not oily, and not hairy, of course. All right, exactly the same method as the Berodin Ease. Really, really happy to present our new Aquamarine. Yay! All right, good luck with it. We'll see you in the future.